It's time for Next Step Monday as we look back on this past Sunday's sermon and jumpstart our week with a few thoughts. Here's Pastor Dave Pack.
It's good to be with you, Fremont family, on this Next Step Monday. As we look back to Genesis 1:28 through 31, the big idea we saw was this: God commissions humanity to reproduce his creative work. So we come to the end of day 6, and now it's as if God says, all right, I have done all this. Now you, humans, you are my representatives to go out and replicate. You are to be fruitful and multiply. So you are to subdue, as I have done, the earth, and you are to fill the earth. Just as I have filled the earth, you are to fill the earth. So think about the big picture of this end vision that we see in the prophets, like Habakkuk, talks about how one day the knowledge of the glory of the Lord will cover the earth. In Genesis 1, God is saying, reproduce image bearers that will spread out and that they will image me. They will reflect my glory over the entire span of this globe. Jesus, at the end of his earthly ministry, he gives us the Great Commission. He says to the disciples and to us, go make disciples of all nations. In other words, go spread out, teach people about me, that my glory may continue to spread until every square inch of this world knows me and is covered with my glory. And then in the second part of this passage, I think we really get an appreciation for how practical this idea of subduing and filling can be in our day-to-day lives. So Adam is tending a garden. He's subduing and he's filling the earth with produce. We may look at our everyday tasks, whether that's our physical jobs, it could be the way that we serve our families within the homes, and we might almost separate it as, well, that's just what I do. It's my vocation. It's not spiritual. But I think the Bible, Genesis 1, would say, no, when you're subduing, when you're filling, it is actually very spiritual. This is just one example. Think of teachers and think of educators. They're filling the minds of little ones to be able to read and write so they can more accurately and faithfully reflect God's image. Think about just within the home as we pour into, whether that's our children or just even people who we have spiritual connections with, we're filling people with the knowledge and glory of God, who then go and spread out and do likewise. Now, interestingly, where things just go really bad in scriptures on page 3, and what happens is the serpent comes to Adam and Eve, and while they are supposed to subdue the serpent, they don't. And the serpent subdues them, and the world unravels at that point. Think about very practically, how many times a day do we get thoughts that are serpent-like, but we don't subdue them? We allow them to subdue us. And that can feel like our unraveling. So let us be people, even though we will be imperfect on this side of glory, who use the authority that God's given us to subdue things by the word of God, to take our thoughts captive to the obedience of Christ. So my encouragement this week is to reflect and ponder how we can faithfully subdue and fill our minds and our lives in accordance with the word of God. I'll be praying for you this week as we ponder that question.